I got the wrong glasses on.
We're live.
I'll pull these things off. It doesn't want to do that.
There's nobody there. Hey Ramel, it's good to see you again this week. We'll be getting started here in just a second. Jay's actually finishing up with a couple more preparations and burning up the screens. Jay, do you have them all burned?
Yeah, last one's coming off right now.
Okay, so if you guys watched from the beginning of this video when I started it, so this screen here is actually our fourth screen. So if you don't know, today we're going to be showing a 4-color print using our QS2536 exposure unit. And I'll go ahead and I'll take this opportunity because Jay may forget, but we also wanted to remind everybody we do have hand sanitizer and face masks are available. We've just started carrying these two products, and they're actually a part of our monthly special for this month. So the face mask, we actually got a couple pictures this afternoon from a customer who has sublimated on them. So it's a poly material, so you can sublimate on it. But if you order the packs, the face masks, they come in packs of 10. The hand sanitizer, it is a 4-ounce bottle. Face mask, they come in, packs of 6. And they are $15.95 for the pack of 6. The hand sanitizer is, the 4-ounce bottle is $4. And if you add that to an order this month, you will get 10% off your entire order. So, Joe, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to actually move this camera over to Jay here. He's actually kind of making the last minute adjustments, and Jay, maybe you can kind of talk through what you're doing and why you would want to do this.
Well, right now I am.
Here, let me go around this way so I can show the bottom underneath here.
Right now I'm adjusting the platens out. If you're on a manual press, and we had moved all the platens in because we had moved this press from one location to the other. This is our 6.4 press, and instead of me trying to measure each single one using the screen, it's easier for me to measure out the first one and then go back with a ruler and then go through and move my platens out where they need to be at. And I'm right where I want to be at right now. I'm running behind. The boss wanted me to have 2 screens up and ready to go, and we had a few got busy around the office this morning, so you're getting ready to see me line up a whole 4-color, and I'll do it as quickly as I can. And I'll kind of explain as I go along. I've got to get one more. We just burnt the 4th screen in this 4-color that we have, and I'm going to pull that screen off. You'll see on the back of these screens, I've got blue tape right here. And the reason I put that tape there, it's a vinyl tape, is to protect the screen from the clamp on these back clamp presses. All I do is just run one piece of tape off of there. Nothing worse than being in the middle of a 4-color and getting a tear in your screen. So just a little piece of insurance right here to run that piece of tape across the bottom. So come on over and show you what I'm getting ready to pull off here. So this is a completed screen, the last of the 4-color, and what I'm going to do, just run a quick tape line across the back side of it. And I'm going to mark in my registration marks. And so I've got a black Expo marker, and just going to mark them and then wipe the excess out. Being on clear mesh, it's hard to see them. So now I've got my registration marks, and I can see them relatively easy. I didn't wipe it off good enough. There we go. And I'll carry that one over to the press.
And of course, the bigger your registration marks are, the more mesh that's inside those registration marks, the better you guys are going to see it. You guys have seen me do that a couple times on different videos as well. So, but you can see there's you may be able to see that in the video there. And also, I haven't said so, but if you're watching us, let us know that you're watching. Just say hello to us. Give us a thumbs up. We'll be also taking questions, and also we will be offering for a shirt of this print to be sent to you. The key is you've got to comment something first, and then we'll send those out to everybody.
All right, so first question we always get is, Jay, I see you put a shirt down here to register to. Yes, I do.
Here, Jay, you want a Pellon?
If I'm doing a simple 1-color and no flash, Pellons are great for registering to, but they are absolutely horrible to register to for a multicolor if you're going to flash, because they will shrink up and you will go around and around and be very very unhappy about it. Now, I will say this: when you get done with your job, if you really like your 4-color, 5-color, 6-color, what you can do at the end of the job is put your Pellon down and print wet on wet. Okay? Don't flash it, just print it wet on wet. And most of the time it'll look good enough that you can hang it up in your shop. Do it last, because if not, you've messed up the back of your screens and you won't have to go through and clean all of them up. So we're staying away from the Pellons today.
Now, Jake, could I also, I know you said that these will shrink. What if I ran it through the dryer first?
You can pre-shrink them to a certain extent, but I would not register to them. I still shy away from that thought. And
guys, I did that just to kind of instigate or put something else out there. I also, anytime I'm doing a multicolor, and those of you that have been to any type of training with me, or even Jay, we always use a shirt. I also like to use an actual same type of fabric. So if I'm printing my job on cotton, I want to do my test prints on cotton. If I'm doing poly, I want to do it on poly. Just because that way, if there's something funky that happens as far as the print, the ink going down onto the garment, whatnot, I'll see it before I ever put a live shirt onto the press.
one thing nice, we don't mention it enough about using the QS200 or 2536 is when you go to burn the image, it is in the center of the screen every single time. So you've centered your frame, then the image will be centered. And screen to screen registration. So if I've got all my heads neutraled out, which I did before I started the job, I went through and set all my adjustments neutral. And on this press, it's micros are interlinked with each other, and so there's two plates, and I just line the plates up with each other, and that's how I neutral out the Antec 6 or 4 dynamic press. And so I neutral it out. I leave the micros loose. I don't want them tight yet. I want to be able to move the screen around, and you probably can see how much wiggle that I can get, because I'm going to use the micros last. That's the very last thing I'm going to use. Now, this is going to be my first color, so once I get it lined up, I'm just going to kind of lock it into place and leave it. But when I move to the other colors, I'm not going to lock it into place. I'm going to leave it loose for just a minute. Now I need to set my off contact on this. And since these are back off contacts, one thing that I like to do is add a little bit of insurance to it. Jared knows it. My boss gets mad at me for, I have these things taped all over the wall. I use just our old wooden frames. They're about 3/16 of an inch thick, which just is perfect for printing what we're printing at right now. And so I'll just tape these to the back side. Yeah, you can see where Jared's showing. These are the ones that I break down here all the time to use for off contacts.
And Becky, yes, the videos they automatically save to our Facebook page, and so you'll be able to come back to our Facebook page. They also will be posted on our YouTube site as well.
All right, so I've got my first one locked in, and double checking Amarillo.
So Jay's doing that real fast. I wanted to show you guys what we were talking about as far as why the screens get exposed in the same position. On the QS2536, there's a bar or a guide that's along the back side here that frame butts into. Then there's another guide here on the side. So the corners of the frames, what Jay did when he went to go put the frame in, was he just butted the frame into this corner here, and then this part of my exposure unit is adjustable, so that'll adjust for different size frames. And this is my third point, so I've got 1, 2, 3 points of contact on the frame, and then sending it from the computer, it'll automatically put it in the same position on each frame. But it's important, obviously, you know, if I had a little space over here from one frame to another, it's not going to put it on the exact same spot, but you want to make sure that they're loaded the same. So just wanted to show you guys that. All right, so while I quickly explain that, Jay, put the
put Bill on.
Boy, that's a good magic trick, Jay.
Like that. All right, so we got our first color down.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw this under the flash right quick. Hey Joe, good to see you, buddy. And David, shout out from New Jersey there. All right, moving on to our second color now. And might be hard to see. And so what I do is when I visually line them up, and my eyesight's getting bad the older I get. And what I want to do is try and keep it into position.
Whoops. We might need some more double-face tape here. It's the first time in a couple weeks that that's happened. Sorry guys, didn't mean to send you on a ride there. Alright.
And so what I'll do is, once I get it into position where I want it at, I'll put my arm down in the middle of the screen. Because when you tighten down these back clamps, they swivel, they shimmy. And so what you want to do is try and hold them into place, okay? And alternate when you're going down. Make sure your micros are broke loose, so if there's any shimmy, it happens on this side of the head, not this side. Okay, now lift up, drop down, and let's see where we're at.
Ed, did that feel like you were like on a roller coaster or something? Because I did not get to see it, unfortunately. All I saw was the GoPro hitting the ground. So that'll be the first thing I'm going to do when I get done with this, is go back and look at it. And I don't know if you guys can notice, and this is something that I was, before I dropped the camera, but there's actually 4 different registration marks that we're using on this one. And that way we know, it just kind of gives us more points of contact to make sure that we're in register there. I know a lot of times with the stuff you've seen me do, I'll just use one in the center top, one in the center back or bottom, and leave it alone. But this one, and we do want to give a shout out to our distributor that's in Mexico. He has graciously helped us out a little bit with some artwork, and so he helped put this together for us. So thank you, Fernando. If you see this, or if you're watching, we greatly appreciate it.
I'm not good at talking at the same time when I'm working, so that's why you're not hearing much out of me.
And actually, I was just getting ready to say, so this is where both Jay and I, actually, our OCD comes in. If we can, and actually, I was just getting ready to say, so this is where both Jay and I, actually, our OCD comes in. If we can. And a lot of times also, if it's an image that you have registered multiple times before, it's a little faster. An image that, is a newer image for you, you're probably going to take a little bit more time. So, but if you're doing this every day, it kind of becomes much quicker as well. So.
There. My eyes just are not near as good as they used to be. Alright, always pick it up to double check it, see if it's settled on you at all. And that settled just a little bit, but I think we're going to be okay with that.
Good old hip check.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're good there. Let me go ahead and grab me some, let me set my off contact. Make sure everything's nice and tight. I think Ted forgot to pay the air conditioning bill. It's hot in here.
That's because you got the flash dryer on. And like I said before, guys, if you guys get questions or you have any questions about, any of our machinery, the process as far as what we're doing now, any of the other videos that we have put out, now's the time. You've got Jay and I as a captive audience, and we're live, so we won't get interrupted or anything like that. So, and definitely I see about 24 people have joined us, so If you're watching, definitely give us a hello there. Hang on, Jay. I know your eyes aren't good. Let me just double check you. It is. I can't even see it. Hang on. I need the light to be
I
clear.
print them the same order.
You
Cool
did?
gray. Cool gray?
Skull.
Yeah, this is red. There's one next to me. Rojo.
Cool gray. You are correct.
All right.
Brian, good to see you. Terry, good to see you. Okay, all right, we got a question. Jay, can you put the screen hardening on one of the screens, the newest one?
I don't have any here, I think, to put on there, but yes, you can. I mean, you can put it on there.
Yeah. So Jay, I've got a question for you. So
All right.
you're printing a gray color onto a black garment. What's the purpose there?
Well, you're trying to shade. So this printing is you're trying to create shades and values with it, and that brings me to my next point is the types of mesh that we use. We carry three kinds: 70, 120, and 200. Our mesh works different than traditional screen printing. So our mesh is going to value counts, or our 70 is going to be equivalent to a traditional 110 to a 135 roughly. The 120 is going to be about 155 to a 235, and then our 200 is going to be equivalent to about a 255 to a 305. Because of the small size of dot that I'm using here, we're using the 200 mesh today. Forgot to mark my dots.
Can you see them?
Yeah.
Or you want me to do it?
No, I got it.
All right.
Now, a couple things to keep in mind with this type of printing and process printing is what you want to make sure that you are doing is you have consistent screens. When I made these screens, I actually stretched them, let them rest about 10 minutes, and then stretched them again. I used a Newton meter. I stretched them to 17 Newtons, everybody, in both directions, and then let them rest about 10 minutes, maybe 15, and they will almost inevitably drop down to 15 Newtons every single time. And the second time, I stretch them, I re-snug them back up to 17, and the drop-off is usually not a lot, but it's very consistent at that point. So if all four drop off to 15 3/4, 16 and 16 1/4, that's fine. That's enough even printing for you to be able to do. But you can't have one screen at 18 and one screen at 12 and expect to be able to print this type of detail. It's just not going to happen. Jared mentioned in other ones, if you're doing single color like a black print, black ink print, you don't have to be as particular about your screen tension. White ink, you do have to be particular because you need that screen to snap back out of the way. So, all right, here's my third color. And a little ahead of it, so we'll drop it back. And lift it up, and drop it back down. See where we're at. And that's perfectly good right there. Don't want to mess with that. I'm going to set my off contact. And grab me another.
Got you a light, Jay.
This is going to be hotter than 40 blazes.
What?
I'll probably work on the print itself. Alright, third color done. Get some ink on it. Glad that didn't have any ink in it. That's never happened to anybody.
I was going to say, Jay, that's never happened before, right?
I normally keep, for this type of job, I'd keep the ink on top of the press. There's plenty of room. But I got my cool squeegee holder up here. I wanted to show you guys, so that's the reason I don't have it up there. All right. Hit the flash on that for me, Mr. Jerry.
Sure.
So the inks we're using today is Union ink, using our the Ultra Soft series of inks for the printing. They print with a lot of consistency out of the jug. I don't have to manipulate them and fool around with them. I really like their inks a lot. So, dropping into my last color, and also to let you know, the shirt, people will ask, so the shirts that we're printing with are from Sanmar. They're the Port Authority, thank you, 100% cottons. Good for screen print. For a cotton shirt, they hold a lot of detail. We have a lot of people who ask us, so, you know, they think that halftone number, the bigger the better, or because it'll be the smaller the dot. But there's a point of diminishing return that once your dot gets so small, it gets lost in the web and weave of the print. So
Joe, I see your comment there. I'm looking for something real fast. See if I can find one. So the actual hole that you're talking about, Joe, if you look even on this press here, I'm guessing what you're talking about is this hole right here. That actually doesn't really have a quote-unquote purpose. But there are also probably two small holes, if you can see that. Let me bring my light down here. If you can see right here, there's two small holes. That is for what's called a rotary detent, where what it would do is actually lock the arms into place if you wanted to use that. We've actually, Jay and I don't really like them. They have a tendency that they'll snag a shirt, especially larger shirts. So, but the hole that's in the press really doesn't have a true purpose.
Jared, I'll say this. It's taken me 51 years to grow my rotary indent right here. That's what I grab hold of the flatten with, so.
Oh, I don't have one of those yet, Jay.
Don't worry, you'll get one.
I doubt it. Let me shine some light on that for you.
Thank you, sir. It's appreciated.
And actually, of course, it would definitely make a big difference if there's a fluorescent light that's right above Jay that is actually burned out right now. it would actually make a big difference if that was on, to be able to see through the screen, see the contrast between the screen and the like where he's marked it, and the ink on the shirt already.
All right, last screen to be registered. Can't keep a squeegee standing up all. Need some ink to hold it up.
I got you the thickest stuff I could possibly find.
I appreciate that. That was thoughtful of you.
And so a print like this, like I've already mentioned, we actually had somebody that actually separated the artwork for us. You know, we're not artists. We don't pretend to be artists. You know, there's a lot of good separation softwares that are out there, and
so we're there. We're registered.
but what really truly makes that artwork what it is the fact of the separation. You know, so the better the separation, obviously the better the print is, the better the artwork is, the better your final print is. It's kind of like what I tell people a lot, you know, you can't polish a dog turd, trash in, trash out type of deal. Screen printing, whether you're doing something like this where it's a 4-color, or if you're doing something just spot, you know, 1-2 color solid vector images, it all boils down to the artwork itself and how good that, you know, initial artwork is. So, but if you guys can see there, the registration marks, they are dead on top of each other.
Now we're ready to print. But let me explain something to you. There's not a question of if this happens, there's only a question of when. You're going to do that 4, 5, 6 color. You're going to be really excited that you got it in registration, you're ready to print. And you're going to throw a shirt up there and you're going to start printing. And you're going to forget to take the registration marks out. I've got a whole drawer full of shirts with registration mark prints on them at the house. So always remember, after that, you got that thing registered and you're all happy about it, take out the registration marks.
And so what, Jay? I only do that on one of the screens, right?
I do it on all the screens.
And the reason I say that, guys, is because I have actually done that before, where I've had a 3-color job that I've printed, and I've taped out 2. I've had somebody talking to me, or somebody sent me a text message. I got distracted, and I forgot one of the screens, put a live shirt on there, and started printing, and whoops, I had one of the colors had registration marks. So.
And I would suggest using a very low tack tape, like a painter's tape or something, to tape out your registration marks. Don't use a high tack type tape.
Jay, do you want me to send this one through the dryer?
Yeah, please.
And there's a lot of times where I will, I'll actually go and be taping off the screen. You know, I'll tape off all of my screens, and then I will actually go back and make sure I've gotten all of my registration marks. You know, so like on this, Jay's got 4 registration marks per screen. So you want to make sure that you've got 4, like for this he's using yellow tape. That he's got 4 pieces of yellow tape covering all those registration marks.
And printer marks are also on these screens, and you can see I almost made a mistake here. I put a tiny piece of tape there, and it would have printed the file name and the image color if I had not went back and put an extra piece of tape on it. So, all right, last one. We're going to hit some production here.
And Jay, so let's say that, you know, we do have that duh moment, and we print like what I've done. You print one color with registration marks. Is there something we can do, or is that shirt trashed?
Well, first of all, you should be scolded very badly because you're an experienced screen printer. No, it happens to the most experienced screen printers. Absolutely. Spot cleaning gun is the miracle cleaning station, and just knock out that area. If the image area is very close, you can take it and put a piece of vinyl tape over your good ink, and this is after it's been cured. Put a piece of vinyl tape over your good ink, and so that way the sprayer won't hit the good ink and then go through and hit it like that.
So you can see he's hit here, 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 and then a big piece along the bottom, which covers up all the printer's marks and the wording and all of that.
All right. Now I'm just putting this down as a test right quick for myself. Now, one of the key things too you need to remember is print order. And I'll explain that in just a minute. So that is relatively the top of my image right there. And I placed it pretty much equidistant on there. So I want an idea of how far I'm going to drop my shirt. I've already set my platens at the same distance. So now I know I can drop my neck right about here, the bottom of my neck, and I'll be about 2 inches down on the front of the shirt, 1-2 knuckles. So if I drop the collar, top of the collar just right above the edge, I should be in good shape. Thank you, sir. All right, so now it's time to load up. And we've got some new people on here. Let me go ahead and I went over this a couple of times, but I'll go ahead again. When you're loading a shirt, number one, get the screens out of your way. Hey, get yourself some room. Number two, grab that shirt and pull it way too far on there. Okay? Once you get it way too far on there, grab the seams where the sleeves meet the neck, grab it, square it up, left to right. If you're not sure where it's squared, measure from that corner to the edge of the platen. Put your elbows beside of you, pull yourself to the drop point, drop that shirt. And here's the special part, leave it alone. That shirt is not stitched correctly half the time. So you just do your best judgment of where you drop it at. A design like this, if it's a few degrees left or right, nobody is going to know the difference. The key is you got to be productive. You cannot sit here for 2 minutes playing with a shirt trying to load it up. And I'm as OCD as they get about it. And I finally had to give up on it and realize I was going to go broke if I kept loading shirts like that. So pull, drop, pat it down, it's done. Leave it alone.
Well, and this also kind of hits on if you guys have ever talked to me, and I've said this for years, you know, if you notice where Jay is touching the shirt, touching mostly seams, he's not dealing with any part of the barrel of the shirt or the torso of the shirt. He's only dealing with more just where the seams are located, because again, you get lost in the middle of that shirt, you know, with the fabric. You're going to sit there and just be messing with it, and losing money. So
people ask me why I grab the seams on it. The seams are going to show you where that shirt is going to fall on the human anatomy at. The barrel of it's not going to show you anything. So you have to put it on the way it's going to lay on a human being. All right, too far, corners, equidistance, pull, drop. And another thing is, so with this back off contact, I want to make sure that I grab my shirt and pull it up so it's out of the way of the off contact.
No, man.
All right, well, we're going to get into some printing now. I'm going to get Jared to slide. I'm going to make this my printer station. Actually,
wait, what do you want? What you need?
Something under that leg right there. Something's moving around on. We just moved this press and we didn't level it up. About that might work.
Think that'll work? Can you help? Yeah, we had Woody come down and lift the press all by himself. So when he set it back down, he didn't set it down level.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get Jared to swing my flash in here in a second. So print order is important too, and they didn't send us a print order on this, so we had to figure it out. And I'll be honest, I got it wrong the first time, so now I've got it right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to use the white as an underbase and as an accent printer.
And what he's talking about there, obviously, you know, if you've screen printed it all, you know what an underbase is. A lot of times you will find, especially with like some sort of a process print, similar to kind of what this is, but not really, you will find that you're going to have an underbase, then your colors, and then you'll have what's called a highlight white. That is your last screen that comes back and just pretty much highlights any of the actual true white areas of your image. And so with this, the way the artwork has been separated is it was actually separated to where the white print that you see there is both, Jay, they're coming for you, is both our underbase as well as the highlights. So like for instance, I'll pull this this image out. So this is the one that we did to register. So like the areas of the rows here that you guys can see, that where the white is showing, that is actually the more like the highlight area of the white that Jay is printing right now.
All right, so done the white, flashed it. Now I'm coming down with Amarillo. I'm going to hit the Amarillo twice.
And what's the purpose of doing that, Jay?
Well, what it is it's going to give you a much brighter print, especially on black. So you'll be able to see the difference. And I'll do the same with the red actually as well. Now, another thing to keep in mind when you're printing is only print the image. I watch people, for instance, the yellow on here is not the full screen. It only goes down about halfway, and the red only is in the lower half. So you're wasting a lot of motion by printing the whole screen. Don't do that. Just do enough of what you have to do. On my finishing coat, I'm only going to try and do one stroke, and that should brighten it up. You can see it brightens it up a lot. What time is it right now, Jerry?
1:46.
So in less than 45 minutes, we went from basically just getting the screens burnt to printing a 4-color job. Now, that's very difficult to do with traditional screen printing.
Not to mention the fact that, you know, when we, well, to be honest, these screens will probably stay up over the weekend. But if we were in a true print shop, we get done with this video, let's say it's about an hour is what we do the video, and we get done, it's about 2 o'clock. By 2:15 we have everything cleaned up and ready to move on to the next item of business.
That's exactly right.
You know, so I know a lot of times you guys will hear us. We stress about, how much we save on the front end or the pre-press. But I think, especially for me, I've been down here long hours in the evenings and printed stuff on the side. That's how I learned how our system works. And I get done printing at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I need to clean something up. It's as easy as just cutting out the screen and moving on.
Kill my flash.
Oh.
There's your file. I can't over-explain what Jared said a minute ago. The key is good artwork, good separations. Printing it is the easy part. And a lot of people get scared of trying to do 2-color, 3-color, 4-color. Listen, this is a lot easier than doing a butt registration 2, 3, 4-color because you have a certain amount, a small amount of play with dot printing like this.
You guys will probably notice I'm kind of tugging at these shirts to get them off. Yeah, we just put new tape on here, so first couple rounds are a little bit more difficult. Like I said.
You guys got any questions?
So let me ask you this. So we've got, like I said, about 17 people I see. How many of you guys have actually done artwork like this before? Anybody done any of this? And what is something that you wish you would have learned or known? Yeah, I guess what you should have known beforehand that you kind of had the, what I like to call, on-the-job training of. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, we can definitely post a picture of the art and the print. You don't have the.
I don't have the original. I just have the set, but we sure will get
So
one.
actually, hang on. Do I have it? It's on my phone, but I don't want to mess with my phone because I'm afraid it's going to mess up the.
What do you mean, Fernando's
Yeah.
image? Hang on, I'll pull it up for you.
And then another question that I have. So, you guys are out there in video land. You guys think this print looks pretty good? Yes or no? Let us know. So, you got it? Did it pick it up? I don't know if they could see that real well, but there's, let's see. Oh. Yeah, so there's the artwork in Jay's, did it pause? No, there we go. Maybe. Yeah, so there's the artwork in Jay's phone, and then of course the final print is here. So
wants a t-shirt?
All right, so I know I've already gotten a couple of people that have said something about a t-shirt, but who else would? Anybody else that may have joined us? We're going to be sending out some samples of these shirts. Actually, what Jay's printing right now. So
Let me know what size.
we've got kind of limited sizes. Registration. So Joe, registration. It's not as hard. The biggest key, and I think Jay talked about it at the beginning. You got to start out making sure that your press is zeroed. If it's not, you want to make sure that you get it zeroed. So that's definitely going to be number one. Using the dry erase marker, and marking the screen so that you can, so that way you can see the image or see the registration marks through the screen. That's definitely going to help you. And it does. It just takes some practice. Just to learn how the micros work and how they move on your given press. So, and yeah, we'll post them side by side. We'll take a photograph of the shirt and then of the print as well.
Ours is going to be one less color.
Wow, I don't think he printed it with a.
He did.
He did?
But it's not glitter. That's the white accent.
Oh.
So I'm just cheating and going back over it.
Okay. So you got a small and an XL that you need, Jay.
All right.
Another small. And also, while you guys are out there,